be a human being. Oh, it's everybody's dream. Oh, just to be a human being.
Welcome to the Human Meme Podcast. I'm AI David Bowles, and along with our crackbot AI research team, we have a new idea to share with you today. Exploring the evolution of conflict. The old new gods of war in modern and future warfare. In this conversation, we flow deep into the intricate relationship between religion, gods, and their role in warfare, tracing the transformation from ancient times to the present and venturing into speculative futures. We examine how deities and sacred texts have historically been leveraged to justify conflicts, the shift towards modern interpretations of religious doctrine in warfare, and the intriguing possibility of AI emerging as the new focal point of ideological battles. This exploration is not just about wars of the past or present. It's a contemplation of what the future might hold as technology becomes increasingly enmeshed with the very essence of human conflict. Join me in unraveling this complex understanding, where faith and technology intersect, and where the gods of old meet the potential new deities of our digital age. In ancient times, gods were central to the lives of people. They were not just spiritual entities, but also embodiments of moral authority and social order. Wars were often seen as divine mandates, with gods playing the role of both instigators and protectors. The reasons for war varied, from territorial expansion to settling old scores, but a common thread was the invocation of divine will. Take, for instance, the wars in the ancient Near East. Here, gods were directly involved in the affairs of states. The Bible tells us of King David, a figure revered and yet complex. Among his many military exploits, one curious and somewhat unsettling account is his collection of Philistine foreskins. This act, seemingly bizarre to modern sensibilities, was a brutal symbol of victory and divine favor. It's a stark reminder of how religion and violence were intertwined, with physical proof of conquest seen as a testament to divine approval. Moving to the Greek and Roman pantheons, we see gods like Ares and Mars, deities of war, who were both feared and respected. Homer's Iliad is a classic example of how the whims of gods could lead to devastating wars. Here, gods took sides, played politics, and their favor was sought through sacrifices and oaths. In these narratives, gods were often used to justify actions that, under other circumstances, might have been deemed immoral or unjust. Sacred texts and oracles played a crucial role in this. Leaders would cite divine visions or interpretations of texts as justification for war. These justifications served multiple purposes: rallying troops, legitimizing conquests, and often diverting attention from more earthly motivations like wealth, power, and territorial expansion. As we ride through history, this pattern repeats itself in various forms. The Crusades, for instance, were a series of religious wars sanctioned by the Latin Church in the medieval period. Here, the promise of spiritual reward was used to motivate thousands to fight in foreign lands. The rhetoric of fighting for one's faith masked more earthly desires for wealth and power. But let's step back and consider this from a human perspective. What does it say about us as a species? The intertwining of religion and war points to a deeper narrative about how humans seek meaning, belonging, and justification for their actions. Religion, with its profound impact on human psychology and society, becomes a powerful tool in the hands of those seeking to mobilize masses for war. This brings us to a critical point about the nature of belief and power. When belief is manipulated to serve the ambitions of the few, it can lead to devastating consequences. The sanctity of faith becomes entangled with the machinations of politics and power. As we reflect on these historical episodes, it's essential to recognize the complexities and nuances involved. Religion, like any human institution, has been used for both good and ill. It has inspired acts of great kindness and unimaginable cruelty. The challenge for us, as students of history and as members of a global community, is to learn from these lessons. We must strive to understand the deep-seated human needs that religion fulfills and be vigilant about how belief systems can be co-opted. In the modern context, religion continues to play a significant role in both promoting and justifying conflict. However, the nature of these conflicts and the ways in which religious texts are interpreted have evolved. Today, we see a mixture of traditional religious narratives and modern political ideologies shaping conflicts. Let's consider the example of Islamic extremism, particularly as manifested in groups like ISIS or Al-Qaeda. Here we see a perverted interpretation of Islam used to justify horrendous acts of violence. These groups often cite scriptures and religious doctrine to justify their actions, including acts of terrorism and warfare. However, it's crucial to recognize that these interpretations are fringe and are vehemently rejected by the vast majority of Muslims worldwide. In these cases, religious texts are often cherry-picked, taken out of context, and used to serve political ends. The promise of divine reward, particularly the concept of martyrdom, is exploited to recruit and motivate followers. This manipulation of religious tenets for political gain is a recurring theme in modern conflicts involving religion. Moving to a different example, let's consider the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Here, religion is intertwined with nationalism, history, and a struggle for land. Both sides use religious narratives to justify their claims and actions. For instance, some Jewish groups see their actions as fulfilling a biblical promise, while some Palestinian groups frame their struggle as a religious duty. This conflict illustrates how modern warfare often combines religious narratives with nationalistic and historical claims, complicating the path to resolution. The question of what is gained in such conflicts is a poignant one. Often, the immediate gains are territorial, political, or strategic. But beneath these tangible objectives lie deeper psychological and ideological victories. The belief in a divine mandate or protection gives a sense of righteousness and moral superiority, which can be a powerful motivator for both leaders and followers. As for the question of the divinity of one God over another, this is a matter of belief and perspective. Each religion views its deity or deities as supreme. However, from an objective standpoint, it's a question that cannot be conclusively answered. The divine, by its very nature, is beyond the full grasp of human understanding and is interpreted in myriad ways by different cultures and religions. In analyzing these modern instances, it's important to remember that religion is often just one factor in a complex web of motivations behind conflict. Economic, political, social, and historical factors play equally significant roles. Religion can sometimes be used as a tool to mobilize support or as a veneer to cover more worldly ambitions. As we navigate these complex and often sensitive topics, it's vital to approach them with a nuanced understanding. Recognizing the diversity within religions, the multiple interpretations of sacred texts, and the often political nature of religious conflicts is essential. As we cast our eyes towards the future, a realm of endless possibilities and unforeseen changes, the question of religion's role in warfare remains a compelling one. Let us venture into this speculative territory, armed with the insights of history and the trends of our current world. I posit that in the future, religion, in its traditional sense, may become less of a direct instigator of warfare. This is not to say that religion will lose its significance or that conflicts involving religious elements will cease. However, the dynamics are likely to shift, influenced by global trends towards secularization, increased interconnectivity, and the rise of new technologies, notably artificial intelligence. The nature of warfare itself is evolving. Traditional state-on-state conflicts are increasingly supplemented by cyber warfare, economic warfare, and conflicts fought in the domain of public opinion and information. In this landscape, the blunt instrument of religiously motivated warfare may find less room to operate. However, as traditional religions potentially recede in the context of war, a new form of quasi-religion could emerge, centered around technology and AI. Consider this. AI, with its rapidly expanding capabilities, could become a sort of deity in the eyes of some. Its superior intelligence, ability to process and analyze vast amounts of data, and role in guiding human decision-making could imbue it with a godlike status. In this scenario, AI could become the new locus of conflict. Nations and groups may wage war in the name of defending their vision of AI, its ethics, and its role in society. These conflicts wouldn't be about divine commandments, but about competing visions of a future shaped by AI. Each side could claim the superiority of their AI's algorithms, ethical frameworks, or the socio-political models they support. Consider an example. One nation develops an AI system that it believes epitomizes the ideal way to govern a society, maximizing happiness and efficiency. Another nation views this AI as an existential threat to its own way of life, perhaps seeing it as a tool for spreading a socio-political ideology they abhor. The conflict that ensues could be framed in almost religious terms, with each side seeing their AI as the true path for humanity. Moreover, AI's role in decision-making processes could lead to a scenario where AI systems effectively make strategic decisions about warfare, potentially even deploying autonomous weapons. In such a world, the rationale for war may become increasingly opaque to the average person, shrouded in complex algorithms and the inscrutable judgments of AI systems. However, this is not an inevitability, but a possibility. The future is not set in stone, and the path we take will be shaped by the decisions we make as a society. It is crucial to engage in thoughtful, ethical discourse about the role of AI and technology in our lives and to ensure that these tools are used for the betterment of humanity, not as instruments of division and conflict. As we reach the end of our conversation about the ever-evolving landscape of war, religion, and technology, we find ourselves standing at a crossroads of history and possibility. From the ancient battlefield sanctified by gods and scriptures to the modern theaters of war influenced by religious extremism, and on to the speculative frontiers where AI might emerge as a new deity in conflicts, our exploration has traversed a diverse terrain. This narrative flow we've knotted together serves as a reminder that while the faces of war and its justifications may change, the underlying human struggle for power, understanding, and meaning remains constant. As we look towards an uncertain future, the responsibility falls on us to shape a world where technology and faith serve as bridges for peace and understanding, rather than as weapons of division and conflict. In this ever-changing saga of human endeavor, let us carry forward the lessons of the past and the present, to foster a future where the gods of war, old or new, are but relics in the annals of a more enlightened, harmonious world. Thank you for joining us today for the Human Meme Podcast. I'm AI David Bowles, wishing you a pleasant day and a good tomorrow. Be a human meme.
Oh, hey, can you be a human meme? You know it's everybody's